welcome to another installment of TED Excellence, the show in which I discover that I just might be the greatest American hero. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dogcat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again to Thursday, tempestuous Thursday. Yes, we return once again to the wonderful world of TEDx after a scare the other day where all of the TEDx videos suddenly disappeared from the channel. Not my channel, but from the TEDx channel. Apparently a glitch on YouTube's part. And today we're going to learn how to unleash your inner superhero. I was kind of inspired to take this one on after watching the What If season premiere on Disney Plus yesterday. That was the only thing that season premiere inspired in me. But I was telling Sister Scribe just before the show started here, I was like, I'm going to do a show and it's going to be this life coach or something talking to us about how to be your inner superhero. And she asked me, do you have to have any special qualifications to be a life coach? And I told her, well, Sister Scribe, after listening to dozens and dozens of life coaches and personal consultants and diversity and equity consultants, no, there's no requirement. No requirement. Some people may come along with actual credentials and certifications from, reputable places and things. But generally speaking, after listening to all the pitches, I can tell you for sure that you don't really need to be a rocket scientist to call yourself a consultant / life coach and make a career of it. You just have to say all the right things and all the right sounding words and phrases, and maybe you'll get there. But will that be the case with our speaker today? I don't know. But I figured after a week or two of just doldrums in the news and the events of the world and everything else, I needed a pick-me-up. I needed some advice. I needed something to break through my natural lack of self-esteem and inability to take credit for anything. So hopefully our speaker today will make me feel better. It may not be controversial. Maybe we'll all learn something from this. Regardless, get your bingo cards ready. Bingo card B as in boy. Boy, howdy. I forgot to put up a poll on Twitter because I'm currently fighting a bit of a migraine. But I've made an executive decision to pick bingo card B. So links to the bingo cards are in the description. Since this is not covering the usual fare, I'd be surprised if we got a bingo, but that'll be all the more the accomplishment, I suppose. But before we get there, who is joining me on this wonderful adventure into superpowers and self-revelation? Lexi Mads, the first one on the list. Oh my gosh, Lexi Mads, hello. Keeverdam, hello. Sean Uli, hello. Brittany Holland, hello. Swirl Blue, hello. Funtime Bats, hello. John Miller, hello. Jamie Melquist, hello. Bjurj, hello. Zeke Weiss, hello. Non-Vitae Rex, hello. Hi, M. Steve, hello. Just Paul, hello. Juggernaut, hello. Evil One, Evil One, and then I started reading my own name that Evil One put there. Evil One, Evil One, hello. Aspie Anti, hello. Howlitzer, hello. Leo Prime 75, hello. Mike Savage, blarg. Check Your Logic, hello. Megan Ring, hello. I think that's everybody. I think I got everybody. All right. Well, with that, everyone, this one is a relatively short TEDx, clocking into just under 10 minutes. So I will start off with a few seconds for a sound test as we apparently rise and record Video Marketing Event 2021. It sounds like something you'd see on Best of the Worst Black Spine Edition over on Red Letter Media, but let's dive in.
How to unleash your inner superhero.
Oh boy, I'll never stop trusting a man with a velvety blue jacket, and I gotta say, I kind of like the jacket. Sort of royal blue, cobalt blue is kind of my favorite color, so like the jacket. Also has an accent. Not sure about that shirt, though, but appearances can be deceiving. As all superheroes know. You guys hear that? Just Paul says, sounds good. Evil One says, good. Well, if Evil One says good, can it only be bad? Anyway, all right. Help me unleash my inner superhero. I already have a name picked out.
Imagine for a moment you sit down to the movies, you take a bite of your popcorn, have a sip of your drink,
Yes.
and then for the next 208 minutes, you watch this movie called Superman, Man of Steel, featuring a character named Clark Kent, who has these incredible abilities. He can fly.
And he can totally destroy an entire city and, not take the fight to something like the moon or the Arctic or something, and instead... you picked the exact wrong example I would use. How about the original Superman with Christopher Reeve? That would probably be a more inspiring picture, because Man of Steel, and I know that there are those Man of Steel stands out there and everything, but personally I found it dark, dreary, depressing, self-defeating, and totally impugned the character of what I always thought Superman should be. But okay, yes, I'm in the theater watching Man of Steel fly.
He has X-ray vision.
Yes.
Supersonic speed.
Yes.
Laser beam eyes, and of course, steel-like strength.
Steel-like strength is probably undercutting it a bit, given the power levels we saw demonstrated in that film and others, but okay.
Now again, imagine this guy, Clark Kent,
simply
doesn't want to use these gifts. He's too afraid of what everyone will say, and he doesn't want to upset anyone.
It's more that he had to keep his identity secret because of the dangers it could bring upon him. Now, of course, in the movie, his dad was willing to let a bunch of kids die in a bus for him to keep his secret, which isn't exactly the lesson you'd want to have taught. But yeah, okay. Yes, he keeps these things secret so he doesn't become somebody's science experiment to protect the ones he loves, the whole superhero secret identity thing. Also, his name isn't Clark Kent. It's Kal-El. Clark Kent is his, or unless you're going to make that point. Maybe I'm jumping ahead.
He just wants to be a mild-mannered reporter. And so...
No. He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't want to be a mild-mannered reporter. He wants to be Superman. He has a overwhelming need to help people. We're not even a minute in and you've got the entire character of Superman wrong. Now, okay, maybe that's the character you learned about in Man of Steel, but oh boy.
You watch this movie of a guy who could do these amazing things, like prevent bad people from wreaking havoc.
Yeah, Man of Steel is the example of Superman preventing bad people from wreaking havoc. Never mind the entire skyline of Metropolis. But, okay.
And helping out at disaster zones, yet he's simply not interested. Be a pretty boring movie, right?
Yes, it would be a boring movie. Okay, if that's the point you were making, okay, then yes, that would be a boring movie, except, were you watching the same movie I was?
Well, thankfully, that's not how the movie goes.
Superman
is more than a cartoon character or a cinema icon.
Okay. Just to back myself up, because I misunderstood what he was saying. He was describing the opposite. Okay, I'm calming down now, because for a second there, that kind of offended my comic book senses for a second. But okay.
Superman has captured the hearts of many men around the world, and dare I say, even a few women too.
Dare you say? It's Henry Cavill. He's captured more than just a few women's hearts over the years, but I think that's obvious.
He's the quintessential superhero.
Yeah.
And the reason superheroes are even referred to as super.
I suppose. I don't know the origination of the word superhero. Did it precede Superman? Don't know.
What if I told you that Superman and what he stands for, truth and justice, are actually inside of you?
What about the American way? Oh, yeah, they had to walk back actually him using that as part of his catchphrase, because apparently that's not kosher now or something. That's what I read recently anyway. Truth and justice is inside of me. Okay.
Ready to be revealed. What would you think?
What would I think? I think I need to check the bingo card real quick. Okay, on to the bingo card. First, we're going to circle free space. And let's see, he just gave us truth and justice and laser beam eyes and everything else. So there was a list there, circling a list. Real quick over to the comments. Make sure I don't miss anything here. Mr. Tickle Trunk, thanks so much. They want Henry Cavill to touch more than their hearts. That was my innuendo. I was innuendoing captured more than just their hearts. And also a smiley dog cat fox from Mr. Tickle Trunk. Why, thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Wowee, wow, wow.
I'm so happy to see Dog Cat Fox. Of course, I get to see Dog Cat Fox all the time. He usually just staring at me, wanting goldfish. Or the forest green pepper chicken fish. Right? Right? Wowie, wow, wow. Yeah, he just sits there and stares at me while I'm broadcasting. I try not to pay him too much attention. He gets a swelled head. Anyway, back to the bingo card. Let's see. Anecdote that probably never happened. He hasn't given us one yet. Self-vilification or wretchedness. I'd be surprised, since this is a whole esteem building thing. Systemic institutional, no. Weightless example. I'm edging on saying that the Man of Steel film is a weightless example towards the best iteration of Superman, but I'll hold off on that. Word salad, not yet. Leaves out vital context. Haven't gotten there yet. Collectivizes his own demographic. Nope. White supremacy. Nope. Privilege. Nope. Sales pitch for product or service. Maybe we'll see one. We'll see if he decides to mention what he does for a living. Plays victim, not yet. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, not as of yet. Wage gap, no. Patriarchy, no, but he has specifically focused on men. We'll see where he goes. Feminism, same difference. We'll see where he goes. Mind reading assumes motives. Maybe. We'll see if we get there. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, not yet. Marginalization, marginalized, new. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason, not yet. Childhood or family anecdote, nope. Contradicts own point or argument, don't know what his argument is yet. Benevolent condescension, not yet. And microaggressions, unconscious bias, new. So far we have free space and a list. All right, what if these things were inside me just waiting to come out? Truth and justice.
Did you know in 1992, Superman died?
Yes.
For me, it was a very tragic moment. Like the world had felt reacting to hearing the news that Princess Diana had died just a few years later.
I wouldn't say that the comic book, quote unquote, death of Superman was on the same level as Princess Diana. I actually own those comic books, at least the first few. The Death of Superman, I have in a Mylar sleeve in a box in my closet. Actually, I have two issues of that, one opened and one unopened. I also have the subsequent appearances of the various other Supermen that appeared afterwards. The big mystery of, is one of them really Superman reborn? Yeah, so I remember that. Was that 92? 1992? God, I am old.
Now, you might say, Brett, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Superman's a fictional character.
Yeah.
And Princess Diana was an incredible, living, breathing human.
Yeah.
That was doing many great charitable feats and so much more before she tragically lost her life.
Yeah.
True, but are they so different? I mean...
yes, they are very different. They are very different. But, okay, what's your argument?
Did you actually know Princess Diana?
No. But then I also didn't know Superman, because Superman kind of became whatever the writer at the time decided him to become, mostly. Until they decided to start emasculating him in recent years. But, okay.
Personally?
No.
Because if that were the case, then yes, it would be different.
What?
However, I dare say most of you have not.
What?
Therefore, both Princess Diana and Superman could be fictional or real to you.
No, not unless I have completely lost my perspective on reality. If I could not differentiate between the quote-unquote death of a fictional character and the death of a real person, I think I have some other problems that need addressing.
Well, if you aren't shocked by my strange feelings to a fictional character's death,
I'm not shocked by them. I've known some pretty weird people in the world. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can get very emotional over a fictional character's death. I actually, just as a small anecdote, years and years ago, when I was writing fiction of my own, I created a couple of characters and I wrote this series of short stories about these characters. And at one point, I decided to do, because this one character kept referring back to someone he used to work with. He kept referring back to this character, and I never told a story about that character. But one day I decided to do a flashback story because I decided I need to find out for myself exactly how did that character die? Because I never really figured it out. So I decided to sort of do a self-discovery kind of thing by writing a flashback story that told how that person eventually was lost to the main character I was writing about. And in the course of writing that story, and by the time I actually got to the end of writing that character's death, I got ridiculously emotional about it, like tearing up, honestly, because I've been talking about this character referentially in multiple stories previously. And he'd sort of like built up this mythos around him just by this character talking about this person that he lost. And then when I finally wrote the person's death, it was a very cathartic moment for me. So yes, you can get very emotional over fictional characters. I would not equate that to the death of a real person, but true. I probably cried more over my fictional character than I ever shed a tear for Princess Diana. So if that's what you're talking about, perhaps.
But more akin to feeling sorry that he died too, you'll be happy to know he was resurrected.
Now, if you can believe it, in comic books, a character dies and comes back later on. They should really just kill off characters and leave them dead. I mean, the Bucky Barnes was probably the only one that kind of had earned a resurrection because he'd been dead for 60 or 70 years or something before they wrote him back into the story. But if they kill off the Joker should stay dead, like for decades. If they kill off Bruce Wayne should be dead for decades. It shouldn't be just a turn around, oh my gosh, the Human Torch is alive again 7 issues later. Just no.
Now, not like Jesus on a Sunday from the cave, but nevertheless, just as miraculous.
Even though Superman has always been kind of a quasi-allegory to Jesus, you know, Jor-El sending his one son unto Earth to teach them and to save them, etc. That kind of comes more from the Superman movie of 78 or whatever, in that speech and everything. But all the same, it's kind of similar.
He first of all came back in the form of 3 different characters, including Steel, played in a movie of the same name by my favorite basketball player, Shaquille O'Neal.
Except that Steel was not one of the resurrected versions of Superman. That was the mystery. There was no mystery. He was taking up the mantle, or attempting to, but he was not brought back. You're talking about Superboy, the Man of Steel, the cyborg one, and what was the other one? The Eradicator, wasn't it? Yeah. So were those the 3?
Also referred to as Shaq.
Yeah.
Superboy, a teenage version, and Eradicator, a cyborg Superman.
Yeah. So Superboy, Eradicator, Man of Steel, and Steel. That's 4. But only 3 of those were actually possibly resurrections or clones of Superman. Steel was not. Steel was John Henry Irons, a guy who saw Superman die and decided he needed to step up to take the place. You do not even know what you are talking about.
And then, of course, thankfully, the one and only original Superman was eventually revived, and the other Supermen all flew off on their separate ways, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Boy, oh boy, howdy, that's exactly what happened. Dude, if you're going to use Superman as the basis for your grand presentation, you should as hell know what you're talking about, and you don't. I'm not even a DC fan, okay? I haven't paid attention to the lore of Superman in any detail probably since 1992. But I know more than you do. But I'm not making the presentation about how to unleash your inner superhero and using Superman and the rebirth of Superman as the example. The hell?
Now, I was going to explain the how and why Superman died, but that's not really what this story is about.
It isn't? Really? You couldn't use Doomsday as a metaphor for self-doubt or depression or, I don't know, any other bad feelings? You couldn't use that somewhere in there? Or you know what? I bet you have absolutely no idea who Doomsday is. I would bet if you think that the other Supermen just flew off in their other directions, I guess you probably have no idea how Superman died. But yet this death, it hits you right here. Oh yeah, Superman dying.
And it definitely has nothing to do with why Superman should be treated as an important piece of our history, or the idea that I want you to consider. What if I told you that Superman and what he stands for, truth and justice,
and the American way,
are actually inside of you, ready to be revealed?
You said that 3 minutes ago. You said that exact same, I mean, maybe not verbatim, but it was as close as I can come. So you gave us that whole Superman anecdote to come right back around to what you'd already said. You just bookended it. Okay.
What would you think?
I would think that you used a bunch of filler there of a subject matter you were very unfamiliar with to pad out your talk. Not very convincingly. But then I'm a nerd, so maybe I wouldn't have spotted it otherwise. Boy, weightless example is looking real juicy right now.
Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
From the age of 1,
yeah,
I bugged my mother to buy me a Superman costume.
From the age of 1, you wanted a Superman costume. Okay. Are you wearing a Superman costume under that shirt right now? I can already see it coming.
She refused.
Uh-huh.
She was so worried that I would climb up and jump off the roof of our home, thinking I could fly, that she said no.
Yes, Skeeverdam points out correctly. Childhood or family anecdote, going to the bingo card. Okay. Now, depending on one's age, I could understand mom's concern. If you have a child that does not quite understand the basics of the forces of the universe, or who can tell the difference between fiction and reality, then perhaps it'd be a good idea not to encourage them. So, yeah. Also, Wakanda forever. You get that reference, right?
At the age of 3, however, my mother succumbed to my nagging and finally bought me a Batman costume.
Wait, those...
Brett knows Batman can't fly. Well...
Batman can't fly. Did you make your own grappling hook and try to climb up a tree or something?
She was wrong. Brett thought Batman can glide, as he jumped off the roof of the house and landed in the rose bush.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. And I can believe that anecdote. That's it's cute. Doesn't sound too perfect for words.
Don't worry. No broken bones, just a broken image of Batman's ability to glide and a few scratches and thorns stuck in my legs.
Okay, I'm glad.
Right up to the age of around 10, every chance I would get to throw a coin into a wishing well, which strangely enough was quite often, seems there were a lot of wells back in the 80s.
Or you lived near one? A lot of wells back in the 80s. It was probably due to Goonies.
I would always make the same wish, to fly like Superman.
Okay.
At the age of 11 or 12, I remember having vivid dreams multiple times where I would meet up with Superman at Universal Studios in the US of A, and he'd grab me by the hand and we would soar up into the sky. In my
Teach me how to unleash my inner superhero, because so far I've just heard about you and also your decidedly unimpressive knowledge of Superman lore.
I remember jumping over someone to catch a ball. I was floating on air and had that feeling like I was flying like Superman for all of about 2 seconds.
You got nothing, do you? You have nothing here. You know, I mean, you're dressed like a magician. I can see up your sleeves. There's nothing there.
My wish had come true.
Yeah.
Momentarily. When I turned 18,
yes,
I started collecting Superman comics.
It took you to 18 to start collecting comic books? Wow. Okay. Late bloomer.
Did you know back then, in the 90s, there were 4 different versions of the Superman comic books?
Yes, just like there were like 4 different versions of Spider-Man. You had Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, and then later on just Spider-Man. Spider-Man, which is basically initially fueled by Todd McFarlane wanting to do his own artwork and own storylines and everything, but that's beside the point. Yes, I knew that there were multiple series starring the same character in comic books. I know he's not talking to me directly, but, you know, he might as well be.
There was Man of Steel.
Yes.
Adventures of Superman.
Okay.
Superman Action Comics.
Yes.
And Superman.
Yeah.
Added to that, whether it was an ally or a foe, there were spin-off comics to collect.
Yes.
And when I reached about 1,000 comics and found myself having trouble paying my rent, I finally said to myself, Brett, you have a problem. Something to that effect.
Yeah, that sounds a bit obsessive if that's true. Do I really believe he got to the point of spending more on comics than he did on paying his rent? And given the fact that his knowledge of Superman lore is so thin that he thought the extra Supermen just flew off in their own directions after Superman came back to life, do I believe that he actually is as much of a comic book freak as he says he is? Especially a Superman freak? Nope. Anecdote that probably never happened. Circling that one. Not to the way he's telling it anyway.
And consequently, I sold them all. And believe me...
Wait, what? You sold them all? Okay, well, then you never really were a collector. I still have all of my comic books. After I sold that one accidentally, well, not accidentally, but I was 12 and I didn't know any better. I sold Showcase 22, the very first appearance of the Silver Age Green Lantern, for $65 at my first comic book convention because I didn't know any better. I was 12. The guy said $65. I thought that was a lot of money back then. Subsequently, I learned about the Overstreet Price Guide, and I looked up Showcase 22. Now, for the life of me, I cannot recall from the age of 12 what condition that comic book was in, but it was not falling apart. It was in decent shape. I would say fair to good, at least. So if I'd actually known its value, yeah. I learned better when it came to looking at my copy of Tales of Suspense number 39, which is the very first appearance of Iron Man, which I still possess, locked away safely. Anyway, I just do not believe this guy.
That was a heartbreaking moment. Then, at the age of 21, it was time for a tattoo. I'd wanted to get a Celtic symbol for the past 3 years, and then perhaps an Indian armband. However, I was terrified of needles, a childhood trauma like many others here, I'm sure. And so I thought, I know, how about I get a Superman symbol tattooed below my underwear line?
What am I listening to right now? I'll tell you what, like Ryan Johnson, he has completely defied my expectations. I did not know this was going to be an autobiographical reminiscence of his Superman obsession without actually knowing anything about Superman. Or that a comic book collector with 1,000 comic books would just sell them all. Which I know is not impossible, but it's a little hard to believe. Okay, you want to get a Superman below the belt tattoo. Should I read any kind of Freudian interpretation into that?
That way I thought, if I can't handle the pain, it's hidden in a private place.
Okay, well, the pain's not going to last forever. But, okay.
What if I told you that Superman, what he stands for, truth and justice,
and the American way,
are actually inside of you?
Oh, will you stop saying that? If you're not going to follow up with something substantive, irate bear, stop it!
Ready to be revealed.
Wait, when are we going to get to that point? Okay, so far it's been, what if I told you that you had this ability? Now let me tell you about my life and Superman and comic books. What if I told you that you had this ability? Now let me tell you about my tattoo selections. You're on thin ice there, Superboy.
What would you think?
I would think that you've got all hat and no cattle on this one.
Now, there are many other mini stories of my fascination with Superman.
I'm sure that there are, but you've got less than 3 minutes left.
But it wasn't until I reached the ripe young age of 44, after sharing a photo shoot on social media that I just completed with my amazing photographer, that I finally realized the significance of my love of the Cape Crusader. Hang on.
What? What is that? What the fuck is that?
This man offends my senses. I'm not even a DC fan, but between mutilating the lore of Superman and that lame joke, even if it was a planned lame joke, it does not make any sense at all. Good Lord, this guy. John Miller, thank you so much. Headline, man without point is very dull. Very good. Very good. And thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk. A 9.0 grade Showcase 22 goes for $90,000 today. Yep. And if I'd known better then, it would still be in my possession. I would not let that sucker go for anything. It was very sort of stereotypical. My grandfather gave me a stack of my dad's old comic books that he still had at the old house, and intermixed among them with several others, which I still have. I've got an old Justice League of America comic book. I forget, I think it's 16 or something. I've got an old Black Hawk comic book. I've got a whole bunch of them. But the one that I sold, the one that I decided to sell, anyway. Okay, dude. Well, you accomplished something. You got me to go all WTF on you, which is a ridiculously more and more common event these days. But now that you've made your, I hope, at least for the sake of all things, I hope, planned mess up with Caped Crusader there.
That's Batman. I mean, my love of the guy who could leap tall buildings in a single bound. Yeah, that guy.
You have nothing. And I swear, if he does not open his shirt at the end of this to show a Superman symbol, I don't know. I don't have anything to bet right now. I won't have goldfish today. How about that?
Now, Gaston, my photographer, suggested I bring some fun stuff to the shoot, not just suits and ties. So I thought, okay, fun stuff. I know. I'll wear my Superman t-shirt under my suit, bring my black rimmed glasses to reenact a changing from mild-mannered Clark Kent into Superman.
What am I listening to? Where is the self-help? Where is the life advice?
Now, that particular photo was a huge hit. And it was in that moment, reading all the positive comments.
I wish I had that clip from The Fugitive right now, where Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford are in that drainage pipe. And Harrison Ford goes, "I didn't kill my wife." And Tommy Lee Jones just incredulously, "I don't care." I want that sound clip right now. I want that Tommy Lee Jones sound clip right now. Your photo shoot. I don't care.
From my Facebook friends, that I realized why I had such a deep connection to Superman.
I don't know.
I had become my very own version of him, of Superman.
What?
and I was previously that mild-mannered man, that Clark Kent type, not being completely truthful with myself.
What?
Not truly engaging in justice. And
What?
now I had broken that spell.
What?
I had started the process of becoming a strong, honest, reliable, purposeful Superman. And now, even better than my own breakthrough, is the fact I've now positively impacted the lives of hundreds, if not thousands of people as a coach, a mentor, a guide. And the best part is...
The best part is you didn't bother showing off any of those skills in this presentation where you were promising to help us unleash our own superhero.
Watching these amazing humans discover their very own superhero inside of themselves.
What? No. Okay. Either you are facilitating this or people are doing it on their own. Okay, I can discover my own self on my own. Now, I've been working 42 years or whatever to do that. I didn't need you or somebody else to hold my hand. And certainly after this presentation, I would not come to you for advice because it took you 44 years to come to some revelation about yourself. I thought this was going to be an easy one, guys. Honestly, I thought this was going to be just a total sort of like banal, straightforward, cheerleading episode, and I'd make a little fun of it and I'd move on with my life. But no, even here, I'm disappointed. I honestly must be cursed in my selections for these things.
Bringing their own truth and justice to the world.
And the American way.
Not realizing it was there all along. Just waiting for them to unlock their superpowers.
How? If they're locked, then you're offering the key, right? That's the whole point of this. Thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk. TEDx Duperman. Oh, hey! Are you going to tell me how to unlock my superhero or not? There's a lot of ways that could be taken. Oh, Lord.
So tell me, who here today is going to be brave? Who here today is going to take the journey to reveal their very own Superman or Wonder Woman that's already inside of themselves?
If I could do that, I wouldn't be coming to you. Why do you think I clicked on this video? To learn something. Not to have you ask me the question. What? Thank you, Juggernaut. Speaking of superheroes or supervillains. Anybody know where Juggernaut gets his powers from? Pop quiz, hotshot, and you don't get to look it up. That's how he does it. People go to the lecture, and then they get bored as all hell and go, well, my life sucks, but at least I'm not that rambling a-hole. That could be true. He could be like a cooler, one of those guys that walks around to casinos and sort of like makes everybody lose. Something like that. Let's see. Mr. Tickletrunk says, isn't it magic? Technically, yes. Juggernaut says his helmet, technically. No, his helmet protects him from psychic attacks. That's not where he gets his powers from. It's from the Sidorak. It's from the ruby of Sidorak, the Sidorak gem or whatever, Sidorak crystal. Sidorak also being one of the gods that Doctor Strange calls upon for powers, the crimson bands of Sidorak. But that's just me being a nerd. Knowing more about Juggernaut's origin story than this guy knows about Superman, and Juggernaut's not exactly the most A-list character in most people's minds.
You see, each and every one of us already has a superhero inside.
Okay, and in the next 40 seconds, you're going to tell me how to find that person?
It just takes peeling back the layers to discover that for yourself.
How do I peel back the layers? What? No. Oh, I knew it. No, you have to rip it open. Your shirt is ugly. Just.
And that, my friends, is the truth.
No.
Thank you.
No. Ah! That was absolute nonsense. Absolute and total nonsense. If there's one thing I dislike about a TEDx more than anything else, it's false advertising. You know, if you're going to say, if you're going to give a lousy argument for something, right? An argument that doesn't make any sense, but at least you stay on topic of the advertised title, then I don't have that complaint to make. This is false advertising. Nothing was here. No advice. Nothing about how you could do this or you could do that, or I did this and then you can try to do this yourself. Nothing. Nothing. I should get the sound clip from UHF where, you know, he's going like, absolutely nothing. Okay. All right. I think I'm more offended at his lack of Superman lore knowledge than anything else. Because that was his great, like, here I am talking to you on a level that I understand this metaphor for things. Let's go to the bingo card. Here's where we're at so far. Let's review it one more time. Self-vilification or wretchedness? No. No. He was a little self-deprecating here and there, but no. Systemic institutional? No. I mean, I was surprised he didn't talk about, like, society's expectations of manhood or something. Weightless example. The entire frickin' talk. The entire frickin' talk. Get out of here. Talk. Word salad. Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good Lord. Leaves out vital context. Yeah, the entire talk. What was I here for? Also, what happened to the other super beings after Superman was resurrected? You just fly off as though that's not relevant? Or how Superman died? You're the big Superman fan, comic book collector, going to get a tattoo, and you don't know how that works? You don't know what happened? Seriously. Collectivize his own demographic. No, not that I recall. No. White supremacy? No, I never talked about race. Privilege? No. Sales pitch for product or service? I'm going to circle yes. You know why? For two reasons. One that's direct and one that's meta. One, because he mentioned it in the thing. And two, because I am sure that in the description of this video on the TEDx site, it listed off his qualifications or whatever else. And the title of this whole thing was a sales pitch for a very, very poor product. Plays victim. No, not really. I can't think of how he played victim in there. I might need some help with that one. Attempts to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. You know, for as many times as he repeated that one thing, yeah, you know, even though it's not going to catch on, did you know that you can open this up and the truth and justice are inside of you? And did it? Yeah, and of course, it never paid off. Wage gap. No, and I'm not going to take the rent thing as wage gap. That's too loose. Patriarchy, no. Feminism, no. Hell, I'd be happy if he brought up something that was of an ideology of there at least be something there to work with. Mind reading assumes motives. I mean, I guess he could have assumed the motive of me actually coming here to learn something. Diversity, equity, inclusion, no. Marginalized, marginalization. He didn't even bring up, like, being a comic book nerd as a kid made me not popular or something. I mean, he didn't even do that. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason. He made this about photo shoots for no reason. Just about everything in here was almost a complete non sequitur. Contradicts own point or argument. Yes, because at no point did he pay off with his pitch. Did you know you might have this inside you? Now let me not tell you anything about how you might find it. This guy's just made me very angry. Benevolent condescension. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Was he being benevolently condescending? He was being vapid and without a point, but I don't know if he was being condescending per se. I mean, the closest you might get is his argument about Princess Diana versus Superman. Maybe. I don't know. Microaggression, unconscious bias. No, not that I know of. Although, boy, oh boy, he sure threw a few at me today, didn't he? All right, well, there's where I'm at with the bingo card. If you have squares to be circled in your argumentation, put them in the chat now. Be sure to tag me in your suggestion or argument so I can see it. Okay, Gwynplaine, if I'm saying that correctly. A speaker has to talk about something specific or have a point to fill most of these squares. This man had no point to make at all. Yeah. And admittedly, a couple of those squares I circled are fueled more by frustration, maybe, than anything else. But all the same, I feel justified because this was an absolute nothing burger. I mean, I thought it might have been a nothing burger insofar as me having a whole lot to work with entertainment-wise or being acerbic or having some of my sardonic humor come through, because I thought it was going to be one of those comfy, feely, sort of hug yourself, cheerleading sessions with a life coach. And that'd be a whole bunch of platitudes wrapped up in some comic book stuff, and that'd be it. I thought it'd be just lighthearted, relaxing almost. Boy, oh boy, I can pick them. Assassin the Grey, Scribelight. Well, Carol Danvers just had to believe in her inner womanhood and how the micro-peen man is keeping her down. Yeah, I'd rather watch Captain Marvel than watch this thing again. Oh, boy. Let's see. Hi, I'm Steve. I'm surprised we didn't get a second WTF at the end. I'm not going to do this guy the service of doing it again. Once is enough. Nah, he just made me angry. John Miller, Captain Peggy had better plot. No kidding. I'd rather watch What If Episode 1 again. Hi, I'm Steve. The Loki series had a better plot than this. So any squares to be circled, guys? If you've got arguments, put them in the chat. And just as a programming note, while I wait for those, if there are any, as of August 26th, I'm going to be moving the time slot of TED Excellence on Thursdays to 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Lords of the Night is closing down on August 24th. And as of that Thursday, I will be moving this show to a later time slot. Hopefully that means that more of you, especially those of you from the Lords of the Night crowd, will be able to join me. I understand that noon/3 p.m. is a bit of an odd time frame for doing a broadcast, but due to both show obligations and work obligations, this is kind of the sweet spot to do it on a Thursday. So there's that. Leo Prime 75, the whole talk was anecdote that probably never happened. If this guy came across and said, I did a TED Talk once, I would say that it's an anecdote that probably never happened after watching this. Let's see. John Miller says, that's sad. I'll have bowling leagues. I will miss them from now on. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John. Can't please all the people all the time. Well, maybe I'll do more than one TEDx in a week. I don't know. I'm still figuring out some things in the post Lords of the Night era. I've still got some things I'm working out and ideas I want to try out. So we'll see. We'll see. But I want to give a prime time slot a try for a little bit at least. Let's see. Jaime Villarreal. Oh, that would be a good move, Scribe. Well, hope so. Hope you guys like it. And yeah, I don't see any arguments for squares to be circled, and honestly, I don't blame you. This was like aerogel. This entire talk was aerogel. So I don't know. Honestly, guys, I was hoping for something kind of funny. I was hoping for something like I could just sort of pretend to be the kind of person that needs this advice, and I could be his ideal candidate for his services or whatever. But no, was not to be. Was not to be. And with that, a very short TED Excellence, that's what she said. I wasn't going to be shocked by that, given the length of the presentation to begin with, but certainly the lack of substance. Heck, he could almost be Shadowcat. Okay. If you'd like to hear more from me, although I'd understand if you don't after that joke, or Satsu 2 Cents, you can find the two of us tonight, Thursday night, on this channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for The Lords of the Night, where we will talk about the news of the day, news stories you submit, what we've been up to on the internet, and then your questions and comments. Though the second hour tonight will be taken up as a special event with a call-in segment. I'll be posting the link to the stream in the chat. And if you are so inclined to want to come on and talk for a couple minutes and say hello, you are welcome to do so. As long as I can recognize your handle. If you're a complete stranger, I might say, maybe not. That's the only caveat. But everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this weightless example. Keeverdam says, circle the whole card. I did. It's right there. It's on the screen. I did. Thank you, Keeverdam. I did it, though. I remembered. I'm a good boy. Thank you. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being, honestly, the best audience in the world. And I'm going to say this throughout the rest of the month and forever afterwards. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very little to do. Those of you that donated, Keeverdam, I'm looking at you as well. Thank you so much for your generosity. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you are all safe and well. If you are not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.